Hi viewers, today we'll discuss how to find solution of inverse trigonometric functions without using calculator. So first of all, we will come to know the values of sine 30, sine 60, cos 30, cos 60, same as tan 30, tan 60, r45. So let's have a look. Before finding the values of sine, cos and tan, you must know from right angle triangle sine angle equal what, cos angle means theta equal what, or tan angle equal what. So as you can see that here we have a right angle triangle and the angle theta is given. It means this side is adjacent. The side which you can see that 90-degree angle is there, that side is called opposite. This side is called opposite. And the side which is exactly opposite to the right angle, that side is called hypotenuse, and it is the longest side of a right angle triangle. So remember that when we write sine, sine is always equal opposite over hypotenuse, as you can see here, opposite over hypotenuse. Same as cos is equal to cos theta is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse. You can see that here. And then tan theta equal opposite over adjacent. You can see that here. And I mentioned the sides of opposite, adjacent as well as hypotenuse. So you can see that the values in sine theta y over r, cos theta x over r, and tan theta y over x. But these all are called trigonometric ratios, and these will help you to find out the answer of upcoming values of sine 30, 45, and 60. So for 30 and 60, I will consider an equilateral triangle. This is equilateral triangle. And in equilateral triangle, all sides are equal. So I consider it 2. This side is also 2. This side is also 2. But once you draw a perpendicular bisector from one of its corner, it divides the side where it comes as a perpendicular bisector exactly two parts. Okay, so every part is called 1 1. We will consider the one side which is right angle. Here we have 90-degree, and remember that this side is 1, this side is 2. How to find height? This one we can apply Pythagoras theorem. If we have a right angle triangle, we can use Pythagoras theorem, and Pythagoras theorem says what? Sum and the longest side square is equal to sum and square of other two sides. Means 2 square is equal to 1 square plus h squared. Let's suppose we don't know square root of 3. So here 4 is equal to 1 plus h square, and h square is equal to 4 minus 1, which gives us 3. Now we can write here h square is equal to 3 and h is equal to square root of 3. So you can see here. Now next thing is how to write sine 30. Okay, so and remember that if you consider sine 30, it means this is your opposite side and this is your adjacent side and this is hypotenuse side. So for sine 30 or in radian, we can say that it is pi over 6. So we can say that sine 30-degree is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite over hypotenuse. Opposite we have 1 over 2. same as cos 30. So cos 30 is equal to adjacent over hypotenuse, which is adjacent is square root of 3 over 2. And remember that tan, okay, we can find tan with by two ways. Like one way is opposite over adjacent, the other way is you can say that tan theta is equal to sine theta over cos theta. You can apply this one, means square root of 1 over 2 divided by square root of 3 over 2. So at the end you will get square root of 3. But if you want to write directly from the equilateral triangle here, so tan 30 is equal to opposite. So tan 30 is equal to opposite over adjacent. So opposite is 1 over square root of 3. But remember that if you write sine theta value, which is 1 over 2 over square root of 3 over 2, it is equal 1 over 2 multiplied 2 over square root of 3. So you can get again same answer, 1 over square root of 3. So I hope so you understand this one. We will try to complete the rest. Next we have cos 45, and remember for cos 45 we will apply right triangle, right as well as isosceles triangle, right isosceles triangle. So as you can see that right side here, this one, this is right angle isosceles triangle. So we have two sides are equal, as you can see that these two sides. So if angle 45 is here, it means this is adjacent, this is opposite. And if you know adjacent opposites, because these two sides are equal, we can find the longest side. Let's suppose we don't know and it is x. So we can say that x square is equal to 1 square plus 1 square, which is equal 1 plus 1. So 2, by taking square root on both sides, it would be square root of 2. So you can see that it is square root of 2 by applying Pythagoras theorem. So the rest is the same concept like sine 45. Sine 45 is opposite over hypotenuse. So opposite is 1 over square root of 2. Cos 45 adjacent over hypotenuse, again same answer. And tan 45 is opposite over adjacent, means 1 over 1, that gives us 1. Next, 60 degree, you can find it from this previous triangle, this one. Now if you consider this one 60 as you consider as an angle, so it means your adjacent and opposite sides will change. Okay, now you can say that here so here adjacent, if we consider 60 as an angle, so this side is adjacent, this is opposite, and hypotenuse is same, opposite to the 90 degree. So we can say that sine 60, which is opposite over hypotenuse, means square root of 3 over 1. Cos 60, which is adjacent over hypotenuse, means 1 over 2. And tan 60 is opposite over adjacent, means square root of 3 over 1. So this is square root of 3. We have to check sine 60. Sine 60, I said opposite over hypotenuse, means square root of 3 over 2. This one. So these are the answers. Without using calculator, you can find out the simple trigonometric ratios, answers of sine 30, sine 60, cos 30, cos 60, tan 45, sine 45, cos 45. Now we will check the inverse of all these. So let's have a look next. For inverse, you must know the curve of sine and cos. That will help you. For example, here we have sine curve and the sine inverse curve. So remember that the inverse of sine, cos, and tan can be possible if we restrict a limit. Otherwise, it is many one function, and many one function there is no inverse. So they restrict the sine function from minus pi over 2 to pi over 2, as you can see that from minus pi to pi. But if you move next, it would be U shape, and if it is U shape, it is many one function, so inverse function is not exist. So they restrict in a specific value from minus 90 to 90. The curve of sine is like that, and the inverse, you can see that what happens when you find inverse of any function, the domain and range are changed. Here you can see that the domain of simple y is equal to sine of x is minus pi over 2 to pi over 2, and range is minus 1. This is your range, and maximum value is 1. In other words, these are the amplitude of sine of x and cos of x. So maximum and minimum value are minus 1 and 1. So that is the range. But when you check in inverse, that they write domain is minus 1 to 1, minus 1 to 1, and range is minus 90 to positive 90. So let's have a look few values of inverse function, how you can figure it out. For example, if I say, what is the answer of sine inverse 0? So sine inverse 0, if you check from directly the curve inverse function, sine inverse 0, it is exactly on 0 degree. And if you think about sine inverse 1, so if you check sine inverse 1 here, go straight away up, it gives me 90 degree. And remember that pi over 2 means 90 degree. This means 90 degree. And this is negative 90 degree. So sine inverse minus 1 gives us negative 90 degree. And remember that we are looking from uh, the range of minus 90 to positive 90. So we will not think about second quadrant, third quadrant, or fourth quadrant. If our value is negative, so which quadrant it can be possible. So directly from the curve, you can give the answer without using calculator. And for example, if we check the value of sine 1 by 2. So remember that when we write sine 30 here, we write sine 30 is exactly 1 over 2. Okay. So it means my inverse function. So these shapes will help you also. Okay. These answers will help you also. So at which angle gives me sine inverse 1 over 2? That angle is 30 degree. In other words, you can say that, for example, let's suppose y is equal to sine inverse 1 over 2. Or we can say that sine of y is equal to 1 over 2. 1 over 2 means 0.5. So which angle of y will give me exactly 1 over 2? So if you check the triangle concept, which we already found in the previous page here, so see 1 over 2, that gives me sine 30, means angle must be 30. So that gives me 1 over 2. So without using calculator, with the help of these values, you can write the answer. So 30 degree will give me sine inverse 1 by 2. If we check one more value or two more values, let's have a look. Sine inverse square root of 3 over 2. Remember that sine inverse square root of 3. If again you check from the previous shape, that is 60. But let me check again. Look, if you check sine 60 here, it is exactly square root of 3 over 2. So it means that 60 degree is sine inverse square root of 3 over 2. That represent exactly 60 degree. So here you can say that the sine inverse square root of 3 over 2 is equal to 60 degree. If we have negative case, let's suppose sine inverse negative square root of 3 over 2. But remember, when you have negative square root of 3, it means you are going down in negatives, like somewhere here, yes. Means, remember that we are looking from minus 90 to plus 90. It means we are not going on in second quadrant or third quadrant or fourth quadrant. In other words, the negative answer of sine is in third quadrant and fourth quadrant. First and second is always positive. So we are not able to give answer in third quadrant as we are looking negative answer. So better you write negative 60. We know sine inverse square root of 3 over 2 gives us 60. So if it is negative, so write negative. Next, we will check few answers of cos as well as tan. So let's have a look. If we try, next slide. Yeah, this one cos. So remember that the again the basic idea is same. This is cos curve, but they restricted in a this domain from 0 to pi so that we can find out inverse of cos that is given here, and they change domain and range in cos and sine. Okay, cos. Okay, in cos and cos inverse. So the domain of cos is 0 to pi, means 0 to 180, and the range is minus 1 to 1. The same case in inverse, the range change into domain and domain change into the range. And we can write few answers directly from the curve, like cos inverse 0 equal what? If you check cos inverse 0, it is exactly here and it gives me at 90 degree. So I can say that 90 degree are in radian pi over 2. If you want to write in terms of pi, okay? So cos inverse 1, if we check here, cos inverse 1 exactly on 0. So I can say that 0. Same as cos inverse negative 1. So if you check negative 1, it is here and it's going up, 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 up at 180, 180 degree, or you can say that directly pi. So no need to use calculator. And the next, if we try to find out other solutions like at 30, 60, and 45, for example, cos inverse 1 over 2. So remember that when we write cos this one over square root of 2. So remember that we write cos 45 is equal to 1 over square root of 2. So from here you can say that that angle represent cos inverse 1 over square root of 2 without using calculator. So it means you can say that here it is 45 degree or pi over 4 in terms of radian. If we write one more example, for example, cos inverse negative 1 over 2. So remember that cos 1 over 2 is what? It is cos 60. That gives us 1 over 2. It means 60 degree is equal to cos inverse 1 over 2, but this is negative, okay? And we know that cos is negative in second quadrant, and they mention the range from 0 to pi. It means we have the second quadrant. So if you want to look the answer in second quadrant, so multiply 60 with 2, you will get answer 120. So cos inverse minus 1 over 2, you will get exactly on 120. Or in terms of radian, you can say that 2 pi over 3. So if we write one more answer, let's suppose I'm solving this one in negative form, cos inverse negative 1 over square root of 2. We know this answer gives us at 45 degree, but now negative. So cos negative in second quadrant we can give because the uh, range is 0 to pi. So there is second quadrant. Either you can 180 minus 45 because we know it is 1 over square root of 2 gives us 45. So you will get exactly 135. Or in terms of pi, you can say that 3 pi over 4. I hope so you get it without using calculator. The last one is 10. I remember that this is tan curve and they mentioned the domain of tan curve. They restricted from negative 90 to positive 90, as you can see that. And the inverse is, they just changed domain and range. Domain is x belongs to real number. This is real number. Because remember that the amplitude of 10 is, there is no limit. It is infinity because it's going up, going down. There is no. So that's why they say just simply x belongs to real number. Here belongs to real number range. That change into domain, okay? Because there is no amplitude of 10. But the period of 10 is 180, but they restricted here minus 90 to 90 so that it represent the inverse, means 10 inverse x, okay? Now we will see few answers directly from the curve. Tan inverse 0, we have, if you check here, it is exactly 0. And if you check tan inverse 1, that gives me 45. But you know how it comes. If you check sine 45, that gives me 1 over square root of 2. Cos 45 gives me 1 over square root of 2. So tan 45 sine over cos means sine 45 over cos 45, that gives me exactly 1. So it means tan 45 gives me 1. Or in other words, 45 represent tan inverse 1. So without using calculator, you can give the answer of this. If we write few more answers, let's suppose tan inverse square root of 3 is equal to what? So if you remember, we write this is square root of 3, okay? So if you check sine 60, that gives me square root of 3 over 2 from the triangle concept, okay? And cos 60 gives me 1 over 2. So if you check tan 60, which is equal sine over cos, means square root of 3 over 2 divide 1 by 2, that gives me square root of 3. So it means 60 degree represent tan inverse square root of 3. So this is equal 60 degree. If you want to write negative, so remember that tan is negative in third quadrant, which is not possible here because we are looking only minus 90 to plus 90. So we just write negative 60 degree. If you want to write one more answer, let's suppose tan inverse 1 over square root of 3. So this is same as if you write sine 30, which is 1 over 2, and cos 30 is square root of 3 over 2. So tan 30 is 1 over 2 divide square root of 3 over 2. We will change it to reciprocal. So last answer is 1 over square root of 3. That means 30 degree represent tan inverse 1 over square root of 3. So it means tan inverse 1 over square root of 3 gives us 30 degree. Or the lastly we can say that tan inverse negative 1 over square root of 3. Again I will say it is from negative 90 to positive 90 and tan negative in second quadrant or last quadrant. So we cannot give last quadrant, so just give the negative of 30. So if you check later on in your calculator, you will get the same answer. So here I solved all these answers without using calculator. I hope so you get an idea how to find of these trigonometric ratios of inverse as well as simple trigonometric ratios, their answers without using calculator. See you in my next video. Bye.